Welcome back to my channel. I'm James. Today we're going to be reviewing and deep diving into Stephen King's The Mist. This is the brand new 4K Ultra HD release by Lionsgate Home Entertainment. Now, I do want to start off by saying big shout out and thank you to Lionsgate Home Entertainment, who did reach out to me directly and ask me if I would be willing to review this here on this YouTube channel. Big shout out and thank you to them for sending this to me for review. But as always, just because something's sent to me for review, as most of you know that have followed me over the last 6 years, it doesn't ever affect my review score or testing data, but I do appreciate the studios and companies reaching out to me and sending me things for review. This is another one of those 4K releases that I was excited to check out and dive into. Now today I'm going to be doing my exclusive 4K versus the original Blu Ray release image comparison, showing you up above the differences between them and pulling the native data from each of these discs. Then I'll share all of my testing data with you and sum it up at the end with the review score to let you know if this is something you should buy and add to your collection. If after you get done watching this review and hearing my review score, you do decide you want to buy The Mist on 4K Ultra HD, as always, I post that direct sale link from Amazon in the description section and as a pinned comment in the comment section right below this video. So if you decide you're going to buy these, make sure to use those direct links I posted right down below. Now to start off with here, we're going to start off with the native images pulled directly from the 2008 Blu-ray releases that I own. Now I will tell you, originally when this Blu-ray came out, it has always had a very soft appearance. Color grading is off on it. Everything's kind of just dull, muted, and it has never been a good looking Blu-ray release. Now, it was okay, but never good looking. Now, on this release, it also had the black and white version and the colorized version. But both versions on Blu-ray were still soft appearances. Obviously, the black and white one lacked all the color anyways, but they were both very soft images, did not have much depth or detail in them to begin with. Now, in comparison to the new 4K Ultra HD release of The Mist, I can tell you for a film that came out in 2007, this new 4K Ultra HD release does have some nice depth and detail in the image. And it does have film grain present in it from beginning to end. That is nicely stable and filmic. I didn't have any issues with fluctuations or big blocking or anything like that at all. The film grain looked nicely filmic throughout it. Whereas on the previous Blu-ray release, as you're noticing up above, it was just a very soft image. Now, talking about the differences on the HDR, because this does have Dolby Vision and HDR10 with a brand new color grading and master they did for this release, I can tell you that's another big difference. As I was explaining about the previous Blu-ray, it always had a duller appearance, more muted colors overall. Skin tones looked very muted, almost grayish a lot of the times on the previous Blu-ray release. On this new 4K release, colors look superb. I will tell you, skin tones look natural, they look healthy, people actually look alive, as opposed to, like I said, kind of just grayed out and dull on the previous Blu-ray. Overall, the color grading that they did for this really shines through great. Now, on the black and white version, the big difference is this one has really nice, brilliant whites and inky blacks without going into the black crush area, so you can see everything in the image nicely and filmic. And in that black and white version as well, the black and white version also has the nice natural film grain that they left present in this, didn't DNR it away or take away the film grain at all. If you enjoy movies and TV series, this channel is the place for you. Make sure to go down there, give this video a like and a thumbs up for me, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Now we're going to talk about the elephant in the room just for a second about the film itself. This film has divided people for years. I am in the boat of, I love the film, but you either love the film or you hate it. I have not met anybody that is in middle of the road for the film itself. When it came out back in 2007, it did the same thing back then as it does today. Now it has grown more of a cult following over the years, but it still to this day divides people because of the shocking ending. Now, that personally for me, I'm not going to tell you what it is if you haven't seen this film yet. But for a Stephen King film that's a horror, mystery, sci-fi thriller, this definitely has a pretty darn shocking and very surprising ending that for me I enjoy. I like the element of it that it was something different. You didn't go into it and it wasn't the same type of film, and I'm trying to be careful how I say it so don't give it away in case you haven't seen it, but it wasn't the same thing that you've always seen with horror or thrillers. It's just the fact of it's a shocking and surprising ending on purpose. And I enjoy it for that element, and I think that is why this film, to me, still today has that feeling that when you get done, you're like, wow, that just really hits you. And I like that. But as I said, there is a group of people that either you are going to love this film if you've never seen it, or you're going to hate the film. But I've always loved the film. I think that Frank Darabont took that short story by Stephen King and made it into a really enticing and entertaining film that I've enjoyed watching many times over the last several years. Though to be honest with you, compared to that previous Blu-ray, this is the best way I've ever seen the film look. It does have nice details in people's skin where you can see like hairs and pores that you couldn't see on the previous Blu-ray because of how soft of an image it was. One thing that really stood out for me was when you started it up and you saw that Dolby Vision and HDR10, just new color grading coming through on the color version. And then on the black and white version, the brights and darks and things like that really does lend to making this film add that creepy horror thriller vibe to it for the black and white version. And then for the color version, it just makes everything look alive and look really good for the first time for this film since I originally saw it back in theaters back in 2007. Now, touching on another nice surprising treat on this does get a brand new English Dolby Atmos mix for it. And in comparison to the old 5.1 mix that's on the Blu-ray release, it really blows that away. You can hear things moving around and overhead, and if you've seen the film, the creatures and things that you can hear over the top of the store, and planes flying overhead, and then even the sounds of the mist itself that uses so well with the hissing sounds of it moving, it really did use the height channels really well, and really was an immersive Dolby Atmos mix that I thought pulls you into the really eerie and creepy and horror vibe you get from this film. It did a great job with the Dolby Atmos mixes, which is what I'm looking for from a Dolby Atmos is, does it use all of the elements of your sound system in your home theater, the aboves, the sides, the backs, and it really used them effectively and very well in this. And it had some very good LFE as well. So overall, that did surprise me. I didn't expect to enjoy the Dolby Atmos mix as much as I really did on this release. And it was a very good and very strong Dolby Atmos mix. Now, I want to talk about the discs that are in here. So I'm going to show you that here inside here. Inside here, you do get your 2 4K discs, and then back here you have 2 Blu-ray discs. Now, something that has recently come up is some of Lionsgate's recent releases on 4K have had Region A locked 4K discs. Now, I've talked about this for a lot over the years. For some reason this year, there have been probably about 14 now, just this year alone, of Region A locked 4K discs from different studios around the world, which it's not supposed to be. But that is why I always test every single 4K disc I get to make sure to share that with you, so that no matter where you live worldwide, you know what discs are region locked and what aren't. Well, thankfully in this case, these 2 discs from Lionsgate Home Entertainment are not Region A locked. They are 100% region free. Both 4K discs, you won't have any issues playing no matter where you live worldwide. So it does seem like a hiccup that those 2 Lionsgate releases that just recently came out got Region A locked. That's just a hiccup, it seems like, that they seem to have caught and was not on this release, which is good news. Now on the 4K discs, I will tell you some other surprising information. Both discs are each on BD 100s. So there's plenty of room for the content to breathe, and that makes a massive difference because of this. I dived into the rough average bitrate. For both versions of the movie, it had an extremely high and shockingly strong rough average bitrate of 90 megabits per second. It was one of those that I was shocked at how good of a job Lionsgate did for this. Now, I said this a bunch recently, it seems like some of these studios, Lionsgate included now, are really stepping up their game on what they're releasing on 4K. They're not over compressing it, shoving it onto a smaller disc, and then giving it a really low bit rate in the 20s. 90 megabits per second is a really amazing rough average bit rate for both versions, whether you watch that black and white or you watch the colorized version. And I love how on the disc, notice it's the meat from the grocery store. It says ground lamb, and then over here ground lamb, but in black and white. Makes it real easy for you to know which disc is which. I thought that was a cool little touch that Lionsgate did. But on your disc yourself, I couldn't believe that they gave both of them such a high and strong rough average bitrate. Now, because of how high of a rough average bitrate Lionsgate did for this release, that is why it lends to the film grain being so stable from beginning to end. Whether you're watching the color version or the black and white version, both cuts of the film are included in this, and both of them were nicely stable in Filmic from beginning to end. I had no playback issues whatsoever. though I will point this out. One of the discs did have some kind of greasy smudges on it. And I've talked about this before. If you want to know how to properly clean your discs, I've been doing this for years with thousands upon thousands of Blu-rays and 4Ks, lightly cleaning them with the claws that I talk about in that video. It makes sure that it doesn't scratch it, it doesn't ever put any type of rings or anything on the disc, but it takes out basically when there's smudges or fingerprints on the disc. One of the discs in here had that. I cleaned it the way I talk about in that video, played perfectly fine, I had no issues whatsoever. But if you ever get a disc that has either the off-gassing from the case or smudges or fingerprints, you're going to want to make sure you watch that video to learn how to clean them correctly, get the claws I talk about in that, so that way you can do it yourself and then you won't have any playback issues. A lot of the times I see misreported by reviewers that don't know what they're doing or people that don't really know what they're doing saying, oh, I had playback issues because it kept skipping in a scene or I had pixelation all of a sudden. That's different than it actually being a problem with the disc, and a lot of the times I find it's because there was smudging or off-gassing on the disc that the laser can't read through. And when the laser can't read through it, it causes pixelation or to skip a scene or have issues. I always clean every single one of my 4K discs before I test and review them, so that way I know on all 5 calibrated 4K displays I'm testing them on to make sure that I'm accurately testing these. And that's why I test them on each and every player and each and every TV separately. So in regards to this 4K release compared to that Blu-ray release, it absolutely blew the previous Blu-ray away. In every single area, I was surprised how nice of a job this turned out, and I'm happy. I mean, I love the film. As I said, I do love Frank Darabont, and I love that Stephen King story, and I love the elements of it that are brought together, and I do love the shocking surprises in it. And to me, this film stands the test of time, and I like watching it because it's shocking. Getting to my review score. For The Mist on 4K Ultra HD, this gets an excellent 9.3. It's a must-buy. You're going to want to buy and add to your collection. Now, I will put the standard edition down below as well, the direct Amazon sale link for it. So, now that you've heard my review score, if you want to buy it and add it to your collection, I put that direct link from Amazon. It comes in a standard case, same discs, same exact content, just a different case. Directly down below. Now, this is one of those, I think if you've never seen it, you're going to be in for a surprise. As I said, go into it understanding it's a different type of horror thriller than what you've probably seen before. To me, that's good. That's what I'm looking for. I don't want a film to always be the same, and that's why I enjoy films like this, because it's not the same thing you've seen with the same ending you've seen, and I almost gave it away there, but the same ending you've seen in every other film. And to me, that's why I like it. But I'm sure there's going to be people that say that they don't like it, and that's why I said it's 2 camps. You either love this film or you hate this film. Start the conversation down below and let me know, do you love The Mist? Do you hate The Mist? Have you never seen The Mist? And are you excited to experience this new 4K? You'll be surprised if you have a good Dolby Atmos home theater setup, how enjoyable the Dolby Atmos mix is on this. If you want to know about my home theater system, one of the ones I use to test and analyze these for Dolby Atmos mixes, you can check out my how to get a Dolby Atmos home reference audio system video. I did all sorts of testing on numerous of my home theater systems. I have Dolby Atmos sound bars, high-end sound bars, and then I have a reference home theater setup that I love. I talk about it all in that video. If you want to know all about the details and specifics on that, you'll want to check out that video. But this is one of those. It's a must-buy. Excellent job by Lionsgate, 9.3. You're going to want to buy and add this to your collection. I said I'm a big Frank Darabont and a big Stephen King fan. And this is one of those. I'm excited. Finally got a 4K release, and it's a darn good one. Let me know now that you've heard my review score if you're excited for this release. If you want to help to support this channel, make sure to use those links I posted from Amazon in the description section right below. If you're going to order any of these releases that I test and review, make sure to use those Amazon links below and join my Collector's VIP Club. It costs you less than a couple of bucks every month, but it does make a difference in me being able to constantly do all these exclusive 4K versus Blu-ray image comparisons that you enjoy watching. So make sure if you enjoy this content and you watch it, use those direct Amazon sale links below and join my Collector's VIP Club. I want to say a huge thank you to all my current Collector's VIP Club members. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure to give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. As always, I really hope all of you have a blessed day. And I've always got something new, early, exclusive, and exciting coming out very soon.